IonQ stock is down 31% in the last month, but it's still up almost 30% year to date in 2025. Investors are asking me, what do I think about this quantum computing stock? I'll answer my thoughts here in this video. Of course, the reason I'm making the video about IonQ stock right now is because last week it was one of the top 10 vote getters in my channel member survey. Channel members get the privilege to vote on which videos I create in the week ahead. So last week, IonQ was one of those winners, the top 10 vote getters. That's why I'm making the video here.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
So there were three factors moving IonQ's stock in the last month. The most prominent factor, in my opinion, is on November 6th when IonQ announced its third quarter earnings results that beat expectations on revenue. It generated almost $40 million in revenue, which surpassed expectations of $27 million in revenue for the period. IonQ's management team has informed investors that its revenue will be volatile from quarter to quarter. It's not going to be one of those growth stocks that just generates this kind of exponential revenue growth because its revenue is choppy. It signs a deal, a research institution will sign a deal with IonQ, and its revenue might surge for a quarter and then drop back down in another quarter. IonQ and other quantum computing companies alike are not generating revenue from enterprises. For now, they're generating revenue from research institutions and government institutions that are in the very early stages of trying to implement this technology, find a strategic use case for this technology. It's not at the point yet where businesses are using this technology to support their services in everyday operations. Of course, another factor that's moving IonQ's stock price is Amazon exited completely from its stake in IonQ, which raised questions from other investors. What did Amazon see that caused them to sell their position in IonQ stock? And finally, the third piece of information that's moving IonQ stock in the previous month is speculation over potential government contracts failed to sustain stock price momentum amid broader market skepticism. Quantum computing stocks are up meaningfully since they experienced that big surge in investor momentum more than a year ago. As I mentioned, even though IonQ stock is down over 30% in the previous month, it's still up roughly 30% over the previous year. Now, I've had the opinion that if you're optimistic about the quantum computing industry, it might be better to invest through an indirect method by investing in stocks like IBM or Alphabet, which have quantum computing divisions and have quantum computing investments that might take off and might experience a surge. But those are relatively small percentages of those companies' overall market capitalizations. So it's not really a pure play quantum investment if you're going through those channels to make the investment in quantum computing. You might prefer a pure play investment where your position in a company like IonQ would directly result in a huge gain should IonQ make the breakthroughs in quantum computing technology. So that's why you might be more interested in a company like IonQ instead of investing indirectly through an investment like with IBM or Alphabet. To answer the question, what do I think about IonQ stock right now? Do I think it's a buy, hold, or sell? For me personally, it's still too early stage for me to consider investing in this company. It's too speculative for me at this point. So I will be rating this stock as a hold, but I can understand if you're the type of investor that's looking for very, very high risk, very, very high reward potential type of investments to consider IonQ. You can certainly hit the jackpot and have this stock soar by 1000x over the next 5 years if IonQ hits it big with a breakthrough that could send this stock market cap from where it is today to 100 or even 1,000 times where it could be 5 years from now, or maybe 10 years from now, if they hit a big breakthrough and revenues soar. But for me, it's too early, it's too speculative, so I will just be rating this stock as a hold or neutral. I don't feel strongly one way or another about IonQ stock. Hey, thanks for watching. I truly respect every viewer who takes the time to seek qualified financial analysis. Unfortunately, there are a lot of unqualified voices online giving unsubstantiated stock advice. My goal is to provide research that's grounded in data and professional training, not just what's popular. For those new here, I hold a master's degree in financial economics. I'm a CFA charter holder, an author, an adjunct professor of finance and economics. I've spent nearly a decade researching stocks professionally, and I'm here to help you make informed investing decisions. If you found value in this analysis, make sure to subscribe and consider joining the channel as a member for early access and in-depth members-only content.